Hello everyone, Krydax here. Welcome back to Freight Forwarding. We discovered our steel was completely lacking last episode because I kind of forgot to remember that iron is also steel. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse... Well, I'm just going to continue on my reverse iron belt. And what is this iron? This iron can be disconnected. Whatever this was. And then that's iron going to steel. This one right here. So we'll go ahead and connect this up. And I will do like productivity with electric smelters, but I think I'll wait till I have prod 2s and maybe beacons. I don't know about beacons, but at least prod 2s. This is just far faster to reattach, and that should be good to go for steel. So we'll let that catch up. What's up, Dave? How's it going? What is up? What is up? By the way, how's pollution with our little tree cubes here? I guess they're squares, not cubes, but wow, we're really taking a chunk out of pollution on the top here. These cubes, well, I can't see how many, but they have a lot of trees in them. A lot of trees. And we can do even more. Let's do one. Well, I guess we can build, now that we have the roboports in there, we can kind of just build over the roboports. Or I should say around the roboports. So we'll build another chunk of trees there. I'm going to add chunks slowly until this whole area is empty. Kind of like over here is empty of pollution. Anywho... So steel is running again. Wonderful. And, oh, it actually needs 2 belts maximum. Oh, it's fine. I only have a yellow belt going out anyway. So, never mind. Okay, so steel is good. And now low density structure is going to be a thing. So let's start working on that. The old Church of the Low Density Structure. Let's not forget the hovercraft. And that's gonna get annoying. Kinda like being able to drive. I like being able to drive along the bus. So I'm gonna keep that functionality. Okay, so time to turn the bus. Turn the bus around. Turn the bus around. Percussion. Dee, 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 dee. Wow, that... I don't know where that song came from. Okay, let's see. Iron is the bottom right of the bus. So the new bus, new and improved boost, will be going up. I'll just landfill that when I get to it. Not a problem. Okay, so that's new bus. And they're all going up. None of the backwardsies. None of those backwardsies. And then... So that's gonna go to here. There. Uh-oh. Did something wrong here. Why does the number of belts not... Oh, because I've still got 2 more down here that I forgot about. Something was going wrong there. That's 9? Uh-oh. Wait, no, we have 2 extra. What is going on here? In Sam Hill? This is the right number. This is not. There's too many. Had it right. 4. Okay. Oh my gosh, yeah, the main buses are going to be able to have so much throughput now. We won't have to have 50 belts for each material. It's going to be awesome. Okay, and then the iron can... how do we do this? I think just like that. And then this is for those 2. These 2. And then everything else continues as normal. Copper, I still only have 1 belt of. Hopefully that's okay. We'll see if that's okay or not. I am going to upgrade to blue belts as well. Oh yeah, piling loaders. I like that you're calling it piling, Dave, instead of stacking. Yeah, because I think piling is a better name for it, let's be honest. Stacking is just too confusing. The word stack already shows up in too many places to make it show up in another place and not even mean either of the same things. Because stack inserters only are called that because they move a lot of items. They have nothing to do with stack size, right? Like wood, the stack size is 25. And then they're going to try to add something called belt stack size. And the only things that stack things on belts are bulk inserters. It's like, okay, that is all so confusing. They're going to get in trouble if they don't change a couple words in there. That being said, though, I do think piling loaders will be a thing. And what am I doing? Low density structure. Okay, so LDS is usually a pretty big build. And I'm wondering if I should make the plastic for LDS on site. Because that wouldn't be very hard. And I don't have plastic on the bus anyway. So I guess we kind of have to. Time to design the yellow science. And we've been doing everything else to 4.5 a second. So this is going to be expensive as all get out. Research servers, I'm going to presume tier 2 well, but we want it to be faster, so I'll leave in the prod so I know how much of the other ones to make, but I'm not going to speed beacon it in the Helmod build. Because we built 24 of all the other ones, so we should just do 24 of this. Right? Right. So then we need a crap ton of things. Wait, that didn't make any sense. Why did the... Oh, because they're slower. I was like, why did that number go up? It should save on factories. Once we have speed beacons, it'll help. And the best way to make rocket fuel is unknown. Light oil or ammonia. Probably not hydrogen chloride. What am I... Rocket fuel. Okay, so light oil, ammonia, which is hydrogen and nitrogen. Oh, so it's just free from 1 billion atmospheric assemblers. So we need equal amounts of each. Let's investigate. Yikes. That's disturbing. Now let's assume maximized speed. And you get prod. And you get prod. That's better, but still terrible. And with a single beacon Mark 1, that brings it to be a lot better. To the point where maybe it's fine. Although that's 92. Oh, well, that would have a beacon as well. Okay, so once we have... I don't think so, Dave. Or the recipe time for the yellow cards is increased to match the faster speed. These take... Maybe you're thinking of quantum computers, because these take 20 seconds to craft 5, and that's what all the other ones do as well. So you might be thinking of the quantum computers, which we don't have yet. Anyway, I probably will not do ammonia for now. What about the hydrogen chloride? What am I doing? Oh, different rocket fuel recipe. That requires stone. Or, well, sand. With a bunch of crushers. So, looking at a similar system to before. This is a much smaller number of buildings, but it requires 27 stone, which is not great. So let's not do that. We have a lot of oil, and so I just wanted to see those because I'm guessing the one we're going to go with is just this, which, and you need oxygen for all of them, right? Rocket fuel, burning out your fuse up there alone. Yes. So the oxygen is a constant, and so is the crafting time, and so is the iron. So yeah, we'll just do light oil. Call it a day. Definitely will prod that. And we're gonna need lots of oxygen. We could do electrolysis plants. Or we could do the atmosphere condensers. And it looks like for just oxygen, the atmospherics are going to be better. Less power, less buildings. I don't need to deal with hydrogen. But I get free hydrogen, which... What can you do with hydrogen? Anything by itself? Not really. You know, it could be most efficient to then have... to use these and then like use some combination of ammonia, rocket fuel, and regular. No, because then you'd need more oxygen. So the hydrogen on its own doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Kind of just wasted. Anyway, so we'll just go with that method for oxygen and light oil. We'll just do that, and I don't know what percentage. Is it like 20%? Nope, that's extra heavy oil. 25% comes from cracking. 30 comes from cracking. How about 29? Can I interest you in 29? 29.5. 29.3. Close enough. We're just ballparking it. So 190 crude oil. Well, that's a lot. We do get a lot of petroleum out, though. But there's no way to translate that into rocket fuel. So we're going to have to burn it, or turn it into solid fuel, or turn it into sulfur, or turn it into plastic. Oh, we're going to need a lot of plastic anyway. So we'll just make sure to redirect to LDS. LDS is going to get its own, which is why I started this whole process. Yeah, we're not going to build this unbeaconed. 143. No thanks. How about 20.41? That's a bit. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. That's an absurd number of everything. Plastic. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say it's so lame, but after doing angels a lot, and after doing nullius, and after doing pinodons, Factorio chemistry does feel a bit... maybe a good word is anemic. Okay, this is good. We're actually going to need a little bit more petroleum than what I will need to produce for the rocket fuel. But this is something I can work with for now. Oops. Okay, and then let me extend Robo Town over there, over there. Yeah, I realize that it's supposed to be fairly simple. I think in some ways it's too simple because there's not really, even though there are multiple options, there's not really multiple options, if that makes sense. Maybe that doesn't make sense. But it feels like you're kind of forced into just doing it one way. Okay, there's 12. So we're doing 24. It's 3 ingredients, 1 out gradient. I should probably do the plastic first. Maybe I'll do that. I don't remember exactly how many refineries it was. I'll go with 8. And this is going to be for the rocket fuel, the LDS, and probably other things moving forward. I just need another oil plant up here because I don't want to pipe everything from way down there. So I'll just pipe crude oil up here. And I need water, which is right over here. Okay. That's done. All right, there's water. Ooh, how we doing up here now with pollution? Nice. Down into the 80s. Pretty good. Anyway, let's see. What was I looking for? What was I doing? Oh, just where the oil is. So the oil pipeline, which we still have plenty of, by the way, is over here. So I kind of need to have that go along the bus as well. Oh, I screwed this up. What's the easiest way to fix this? Maybe? I've made chaos. Okay, so left. It seems to be working. I don't know if it for sure is, but I think that's right. Because the left can go onto either lane, and the right can go onto either lane of that. Well, but then it's... You know what? I'll just make a balancer. Wait, how does this work again? No. There. 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 And... Don't you normally need 2 more on the ends? Though? Or is that only if it's a 4 to 4? I don't have enough balancer wherewithal to know whether I need these final 2 or not right now. So I'll put them just in case. I have a feeling I don't need those 2 in this case. Uh-oh. What happened to our iron? What you all doing down here? Well, we need a lot more modules is what we need. The 2 on the end are only useful in an edge case. Yeah, isn't it like if the right one over here, or the right 2 belts are saturated and you want the left two belts to be saturated, or something like that? Or maybe you just want this far left belt to be saturated when 1 over here is saturated, or it's something like that. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't show up if only these 2 are saturated, and if these 2 are always equally saturated anyway. Plus, I'm constantly balancing these 2 belts anyway. I'm guessing it wouldn't come up. But yeah, let's keep doing things here. So I'm just going to go with I can extend it to the left design. Plus room for beacons in the middle. which this will provide. So these will be heavy oil cracking, and then light oil cracking needs 2 spaces. And then, yeah, that's all I need for now. So there's water. I will have regulator tanks. Have I researched tanks yet? No. I'm not really going to worry about that right now. So we'll have heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum. Go directly into tanks with overflow. I'm just gonna craft a bunch of these. So I think we actually want top-ups in this case because we want to make sure there's always room for cracking when we want to do cracking, and we will crack under overflow conditions. So we only crack light oil if we have, or we only crack heavy oil if we have more than enough. Which would be here. And the overflow needs to be a lower number than the top up. Otherwise, we would never crack the oil from these. So that's a pretty big important issue when you're using overflows and top ups that you can run into, is if you set these to the same number, you can run into issues. And alternately, you can actually fix some issues by setting them like that, because then this would actually mean we never use the heavy oil from refineries to do heavy oil cracking. Maybe there's heavy oil from some other source, and we just want to make sure we don't back up everything on heavy oil from that source. And then we would do it like this. So in like Pinedon's super useful. But in this case, we want to crack any number of oil that's more than enough. And we could also change this to like 90 because it's going into a tank. I don't really think it would cause that much of an issue, but you can get into some weird flow rate stuff if the numbers are too close. But heavy oil is never going to be a flow rate issue because we're always going to have more petroleum than anything else. So if petroleum's flowing, I don't have to worry about heavy oil flowing. But that being said, let's see. So light oil, hold on, let me connect that up. So that's good. And then light oil comes out here and needs to be hooked into the main line. And that'll just always automatically go in. And then we'll do the same method here for light oil. And then that. So I'm pretty sure that'll all work fine. And I can expand these as much as I want. Oh, I do need, well, I guess beacons are going to be here, so I need room for beacons above the petroleum. And I don't really know the number we need to start with, but it's going to be roughly 3. And all of these put together, 72, and that'll be like 30, so 100-ish light oil. So we're going to need 7. I'll do 8. And that should be slightly more than I need, and that way when we start doing stuff with beacons, we'll be closer to the right number. Because once you do prod, right, it slows everything down, but the gap between how much you need of each thing increases because you get more output for the same input. And so as you add speed beacons and prod, you need more of the secondary machines than you did before. What's up, Teus? Welcome, welcome. And now we're gonna need plastic. So we'll do plastic next. And why don't I run... We're just gonna run the lead down here. There is space for beacons, Aylor. Right? Did I not leave space for beacons? Oh, I can just... Yeah, there's going to be beacons on the top because I'm using the beacon rebalance. So buildings can only be affected by one beacon. So I will only need beacons spaced out every so often, and that'll affect these 2 rows of things. And then I'll have more beacons up here to affect the light cracking and the plastic making. And we will deconstruct these. I will grab some big power poles, also known as big peepees. I don't think anybody calls them that. Get rid of all this. And we are just gonna trash all lead. There will almost never be a time where I need lead ore in my inventory. I can turn off personal logistics for when that happens. Okay, so then we need plastic, which requires petroleum and coal. So we'll have the coal belt here, petroleum. Maybe go one more so that we can easily fit beacons in. Just have to underground the lead. Heck, I might as well just underground it now. It's a little better. You weren't calling them that, but now you will. Yeah, how can you not? Such a great name. I saw a really interesting post on the Reddit. I need to read it more fully, but it kind of was making a case for why the space exploration beacon rebalance isn't the be-all end-all. It's almost a popular opinion these days that, like, vanilla beacons are bad and boring, and space exploration beacons are awesome and not boring. And I kind of read a post that was making a case that, like, they're actually kind of the same thing at the end of the day, and they're not really that different. The main reason why people like the space exploration one is because you just have to build a lot fewer of them. But in terms of the actual game design element, they're kind of the same thing. Okay, so that's hooked up. And then this will supply petroleum to you. And then finally, we do need an outlet for petroleum, right? Like if we have too much. So I'm actually going to take that down to 50 overflow to start cracking. And then we will be making a bunch of plastic. And then we do need the option to void petroleum if we end up with too much. Now, the problem with using power plants as a void is that you can't prioritize. Plastic is petroleum, not light oil. Oh, you're right. I hooked that up to the wrong one. Yeah, there we go. The problem is that you can't prioritize power generators the way that, you know, you could in real life with a power grid. Because essentially what we want is to utilize these first, and even mods can't do this. Like, it's not possible, and I'm hoping they add this feature to 2.0. But you should just be able to select a group of buildings, and then a little window would pop up, and you could just set a number. And I could set the number to be 5, and that would be the highest power priority. And kind of like right now, how it uses solar power before it even touches stuff like steam engines and gas power stations, and it uses these before it even touches accumulators. Like it uses up all of one priority before it goes to the next, and then we could always be sure that we would burn off our petroleum by spending it on power, but we can't do that right now. Anyway, we want an overflow valve here, not just direct connection, but we'll overflow that to 90, and we're gonna have to set some sort of condition on a pump so that we don't just cycle everything 100% of the time. Power switch reading from accumulators? What? Oh, yeah, I mean, I could turn off my other power generation stuff so that this runs at a higher capacity, but yeah, there's a lot of hacky, janky workarounds you can do, but they are hacky and janky. What am I looking for? A pump. Anyway, this is a system that I use in a lot of places because essentially it's saying, hey, you can't work unless this is over 90. It's essentially a free circuit condition. And then we want it to work. Well, I guess I need 2 conditions. Oh, you know how to make an ore with pumps? Check this out. Haha. Problem solved. So this is an ore with pumps. If either pump is running, then we will be flowing. We're gonna have too much petroleum sometimes if we're using a lot of rocket fuel, for example, and we're not using petroleum. So anyway, we enable this one if light oil is less than, let's just say, 1,000, so things have a second to start running. And then we're gonna do this one if heavy oil is less than 1,000. And so that way, essentially, if one of these is really low and we have over 90% petroleum, then we're going to start voiding some petroleum to make sure that this, the refineries and crackers are going to keep running. That's how that will work. This is a very robust system. It may be overkill, but this way I don't have to fear any of it backing up or doing things incorrectly. And then finally, this is being pumped into, so this system will have, what's the word? This system will have 100% fill height. Like when it fills up, it'll be at 100%. And then I'll do an overflow on these. If this ever gets too full, then we can do some flare stacks. Yeah, but Dave, problem 1 with that is you get hysteresis. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that word, but hysteresis is really annoying. And if you just had power priorities, it wouldn't do that. Anyway, I forget how quickly these burn. They burn 50 a second, so I feel like 200 a second would be enough for anything I would ever need to void, most likely. And what do these use? Only 6 a second? Jeez. What's up, infantryman? How's it going? Okay, and then I need to copy the coal belt forward. Plastic. And we are going to need a full belt of plastic here, so I guess I should alternate the drop sides. And there we go. That is the oil setup for the late game base. And I can expand as needed. Let's decon for rocks and trees. I'm going to let the bots do the work there. You know, now that we have bots, why don't I just get rid of all the rocks and stones within construction bot range? That feels good. Oh, well, maybe not the ones up there. We want to keep those. We want to keep those trees. Alright, well, that'll keep them busy. And then... Oh, cliffs. Cliffs. I think, did I make cliff explosives available in the network? I did, okay. That should be good. You're really enjoying DayZ, that's awesome. I just recently started replaying Kerbal Space Program, and that's been pretty fun. I've been getting into that again. Which, for those of you listening, if you're into Kerbal Space Program, so am I. Feel free to join the Discord and talk to me about it. I also did a little bit of a modded playthrough at one point on YouTube. So those videos are somewhere in the history. Okay, that's all powered up except for you. What did I... Oh, it's supposed to be there. Okay. And now we should have a lot of plastic coming from those buildings. I guess the way I put these inserters didn't really leave room for beacons. Let me redo this. Let me do it like that. KSP and Factorio? Yeah. I mean, I haven't really been binging Factorio. You know, I'm playing... I don't know what I'm averaging these days, but maybe 10 hours a week. I'm not playing a ton. But yeah, this needs to be coal, which is here. All right. Okay. And now we are good to start setting up low density structure. Beacons. Don't need beacons on this row. I'll leave a few spaces just because it's a new build. Excuse me, and I might need room for some oily things up here, so we'll actually go a few more. Yeah, a lot of space goes to things that don't do anything but speed other things up. That is true. Okay, so 3 inputs, 1 output. How do I want to do this? I feel like I could just go with the classic. But then I'll need to use undergrounds for the beacons, which is kind of annoying. Maybe I'll just do the outputs on the outside. That is easy. And then we don't have to even use Undergrounds. I forget, is DayZ the one that's like multiplayer, but like sort of like an MMO, but not quite, where there's like other people that you interact with? Or am I getting that mixed up? Okay, so copper. This is going to use so much copper that we don't have. It's just going to happen, I guess. Right. I know DayZ is a survival game. Uh-oh. That's new. Oh, they got stuck. So they did some wall eating. Okay, copper gets its own whole belt, and then plastic and titanium will mix. Should plastic be on its own bus belt? Maybe. So glass and silicon are both stone. So we need stone and plastic to make electronic components. And later we get a better recipe, but we still need stone and plastic is denser. So maybe yes, then? And then titanium. Oh, I never put titanium on the bus. There's no beating the game, just try to survive as long as you can. I always struggle with games like that. I find it hard to enjoy. Now, am I side-loading these red circuits initially? Or is that just by chance? That's just by chance. So we want to make sure that we don't get red circuits on the other side of the belt. Let's see. A good way to do that is just something like this. Oh, it doesn't have a better ratio? Interesting. Well, we will hell mod it when we get there and figure out which one we want to do. This is nice, because that just works out like that. So then we got plastic and titanium meeting. There. Nope, plastic or copper's the far one. It just looks nicer if they're symmetrical. Okay. So there's that. Got to feed and export power pole. That's going to be 16. I'll go with 24 to start. Okay. There's that. Oop, missed one. These can definitely be on one side of the belt, result-wise. And then those will go along and get used up in the blue circuit, or not blue circuit, yellow science build. That's going to be over here somewhere. Okay, so now we just need to get oil hooked up, and this should start running. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, Red Raff, how's it going? You want an in-game screenshot of the archipelago on Showcase channel? Wait, what are you saying? Are you talking about the freight forwarding channel? I don't know what you're talking about. Oil. It sounds like there is some debate as to the electronic components recipe, so let us settle this debate with hard facts. Cold, hard facts. What are they called, though? Components? There we go. Alright, we got that one, and we got the other one, wherever it is. That one. Okay. Let's just say we're doing 100 a second. Of course, we're going to be using all the latest game tools. 20 speed 3 modules. Wonderful. Beacon rebalance obviously changes this a little bit, but how many? If you have 10 beacons, it's the same thing. So although you can actually get more than 10 beacons around one of these in vanilla, right? I think you can get 12 potentially. So yeah, you're right. I actually need to change the beacon affecting 1 to 1. And constant beacon, we'll just put it 0. And that's going to be 0.125 for now, because I get 8 factories per beacon. So yeah, that needs to be changed. Those don't really matter. They'll affect power usage, but that's not a big deal. What's up, Gaming Strudel? How far ahead of YouTube are we? About a week, maybe 7 or 8 episodes right now. Okay, and I'm just gonna boil these down to stone because that's the comparison point, of course. And this is where I'm wondering if this recipe gets better is because you get more productivity steps, which I think is what Alor was saying. Apply that to everything. Oh, sand and crushers. Okay, there you go. Nope, that didn't work. I guess you can control click instead of clicking 20 times. I think that applied properly. Those all have the max prod. And then, so you get 34 stone and 35 plastic to make 100 electronic components at 4... The power's not exactly right, and these do actually take quite a bit. Let's call it that. Because you can definitely affect 10 factories per beacon with the tier 3. They're a very large area. Alright, and then to this one, just apply to the whole everything. And then this one by itself. Whoa! Talk about stone usage. 34 versus 142. That is a huge difference. That is a huge difference. Infantryman with the updates for DayZ is now dead. The ED dead. But yeah, this is a huge difference. So this late game recipe is actually pretty bad. It's not even faster per building. So that feels odd as well, because you don't even get more. And you don't really need all that many furnaces. You know, it's a couple crushers and a couple filtration plants and a couple furnaces, but for the amount of stone that you save, I can't see why you would ever use this other recipe. That's actually actively bad. You are paying a lot for the simplicity of this recipe. It does use a little bit less power, which is, I guess, worth something. But, yeah. Okay. Well, good to know. We have scienced our way to that answer, and I'm going to hook up the oil, and then that'll probably be where we call this episode. And then we'll resume in the next one, working on the yellow science. Yeah, exactly. Power is basically null. Unless you're talking huge numbers, which that was like a 30 megawatt difference, which is not a huge number. Right. Where's the best place to connect to oil? Yeah, maybe I will go back here. Yeah. Hellmod busters. Hellmyth busters. Okay, and then this T-junction. And there we go. Easy enough. And you'd think I would need a pump, but it's probably only like from all the way from down here, which I have a pump. We've got 29 pipe segments and maybe another. So there's not even close to 100 pipe segments in the whole thing. And 100 pipe segments can handle 1,000 throughput. So we're good to go on throughput. Not really worried about that. But yeah, here we go. Everything's running. Plastic's already popping out. And low density structure is now officially running. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ta-da! So, that is going to be where we call this episode for YouTube. If you're on Twitch, stick around. I'm not going anywhere, streaming-wise. But for those of you on YouTube, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next episode.